My brother-in-law didn't touch my graduation cap. He crushed it. UCLA's Poly Pavilion, June 14th, 11:47 a.m. He snatched it off my head mid-photo, flattened the tassel between his fists, and slam-dunked it into a trash can. You're still a failure, Emma. Art degree equals unemployment. My sister filmed it. 43 relatives watched Mom's entire side of the family. I didn't react. I walked to that trash can, pulled out my cap, and placed it back on my head. Crushed cardboard, bent tassel, his fingerprints still visible on the fabric. Then I turned to face everyone holding their phones. My cousin posted it within the hour. 2.1 million views by dinner. Every person at that graduation, including his boss, watched him assault me on my achievement day. His HR department called Monday morning. The acceptance email arrived at 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. I was 17. Senior year. Sitting in my bedroom with my laptop balanced on my knees, refreshing my inbox every 30 seconds. UCLA. Subject line. Your admission decision. My hands shook as I clicked. The screen loaded in sections, first the logo, then the text. Congratulations, you've been accepted to UCLA's College of Letters and Science, Art History program. Merit Scholarship, $18,500 annually. I read it 3 times before I believed it. 4 years of AP classes. Volunteer coordinator at the food bank. Editor of the school literary magazine. National Honor Society. 4.2 gigapascals weighted. Every sleepless night had led to this single moment. I called my parents immediately. Mom answered on the 5th ring. Jenna? It's early. I got into UCLA. The words tumbled out before I could breathe. Full acceptance. Art history. They're giving me $18,500 in merit scholarships. Silence stretched across the line. Mom? That's nice, honey. Her voice carried the flatness of someone reading a grocery list. Your father's still asleep. I'll tell him when he wakes up. Nice. Not proud. Not excited. Nice. I thought you'd want to know right away. We do. It's just, well, art history. Is that really something you can build a career around? My chest tightened. Museum curation. Gallery management. Arts administration. Well, congratulations. I should start breakfast. She hung up. I sat there holding my phone, staring at the acceptance letter on my screen. The excitement drained out of me like water through a cracked glass. That afternoon, my sister Claire called. Jenna, oh my God, guess what? What? Derek proposed. Her voice bubbled with the kind of joy Moms hadn't held that morning. Last night at that restaurant downtown, the expensive one. He got down on one knee in front of everyone. Derek, her boyfriend of 8 months, corporate sales executive with a company car and a salary Mom mentioned at every family dinner. Congratulations, Claire. That's amazing. I know. We're thinking spring wedding, big venue. Mom's already looking at, oh, wait, didn't you have some college thing today? Some college thing. Yeah, I got into UCLA. Oh, that's great. Anyway, about the wedding, can you be a bridesmaid? I'm thinking blush pink. She talked for 12 minutes about flower arrangements and guest lists. When she finally hung up, I printed my acceptance letter and taped it to my bedroom wall. It looked smaller than it should have. College started that fall. I thought distance would help. It didn't. I worked 3 jobs to survive. Monday through Wednesday at the campus library. Thursday through Sunday at Starbucks on Westwood. Weekend mornings tutoring high school students in English. 32 hours weekly on top of 17 credit hours. My roommate's parents sent care packages monthly. Cookies, gift cards, notes that said, "We're so proud of you." Mine sent a text on my birthday. Happy 19th. Mom, $27 in my checking account. No call, no card. Sophomore year, I ran out of money for textbooks. I called home on a Sunday. Dad, I hate to ask, but I'm short on book funds this semester. Is there any way you could help with maybe $400? I can pay you back over summer. Jenna. His voice carried that familiar weight of disappointment. You're 19 years old. You need to learn financial responsibility. I work 30 hours a week. Claire never asked us for money during college. Because you paid for everything, I wanted to say. Okay, thanks anyway. I sold my laptop to a freshman for $320, used library computers for the rest of the semester. 3 months later, Claire's wedding invitations arrived on embossed ivory cardstock. The venue, Langham, Pasadena. I Googled it during my break at Starbucks. Starting price, $35,000. I called Mom that evening. The invitations are beautiful. Aren't they? Your father and I are contributing $35,000 for the venue and catering. Claire deserves the best. I thought about my $400 textbook request. The laptop I'd sold. The ramen I'd eaten 4 nights that week. That's generous. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. You'll be there, won't you? Bridesmaid dresses are $280. I worked double shifts for 2 months to afford that dress. Junior year, I made Dean's List. 3.87 gigapascals. I posted it in the family group chat. Claire. That's great. Mom. Dad. No response. 2 weeks later, Derek posted about closing a deal worth $150,000 in commission. Dad. Now that's an achievement. Proud of you, son. Son. Derek wasn't even blood. Senior year approached faster than I expected. I'd survived on determination and library air conditioning, convinced it would all matter when I walked across that stage wearing cap and gown. I sent graduation ceremony details 6 weeks early. UCLA Poly Pavilion, June 14th, 2 p.m. Parking info attached. Hotel recommendations included. The family group chat went silent for 3 days. Then Derek responded. Art degree? That's cute. Like a hobby you get certified in. Claire added a laughing emoji. Mom replied an hour later. We'll try to make it, honey. Try. Not we'll be there. Not, we're so proud. Try. Derek Mitchell joined our family 3 years before my graduation. 28 years old. Corporate sales at a tech firm. Company BMW. Expense account. Everything my parents valued wrapped in a 6-foot frame and custom suits. Within 2 months of dating Claire, he was at every family gathering. Within 4 months, Dad called him son. Thanksgiving my sophomore year. First holiday Derek attended. I'd come home exhausted from midterms and a double shift. Brought my art history textbook because I had a paper due that Monday. Derek picked it up from the couch. Art history. This is what costs $60,000 a year? I have a scholarship, I said quietly. Still, what's the ROI on this? You going to teach? He said, teach like it was unemployment with a podium. Dad laughed from the kitchen. That's exactly what I asked her. No offense, Jenna, but when will you pick a real major? Business? Economics? Something that actually makes money? Derek handed back the book. Art's a hobby, not a career. I like what I'm studying. Sure, I like golf. Doesn't mean I majored in it. He grinned like he delivered profound wisdom. Just trying to help. When you graduate and can't find work, don't say I didn't warn you. Mom served turkey. Everyone moved on. I locked myself in my childhood bedroom afterward and stared at my acceptance letter still taped to the wall from 4 years ago. Real major. Real career. As if mine wasn't. Christmas was worse. Gift exchange in the living room. Trees sparkling with white lights, carols playing softly. Mom handed Claire and Derek a large box. They unwrapped it together, faces glowing. KitchenAid mixer. Premium model with glass bowl. I looked it up later. $1,200. For your new house, Mom hugged them both. Every couple needs quality appliances. Claire squealed. Derek kissed her cheek. They took 17 photos. Then Mom handed me a small envelope. Inside, $40 Visa gift card. For textbooks or whatever, Dad said. Whatever. $200 versus $40. I smiled, said thank you, excused myself 20 minutes later, sat in my car in the driveway, drove back to campus 3 days early. The comments continued at every gathering. Easter. Still doing the art thing? Mom's birthday. Thought about grad school for something practical? 4th of July. My company's hiring. Real jobs, real salaries. By junior year, I stopped responding. Just smiled, nodded, changed subjects. Derek always circled back. You know your problem? He said at Claire's birthday party. You don't think like a business person. Art doesn't scale. You can't build equity in a painting. Some paintings sell for millions. Yeah, and what percentage of artists make millions? 1%? He sipped his beer. I'm being realistic. Someone has to be. Dad nodded. He's got a point. I stopped attending unless it was mandatory. But worse than Derek's comments was watching my parents worship him. Every story he told was fascinating. Every deal he closed was genius. Every opinion he shared was respected. He'd talk 15 minutes about client acquisition strategies, and Dad would lean forward, engaged. Mom would ask follow-up questions. I once tried sharing about a Renaissance exhibit I'd helped curate at the campus museum. 3 sentences in, Dad's phone rang. He took the call, stepped outside. Never asked me to continue when he returned. Derek noticed. Art exhibits don't pay bills, Jenna. That's why. Senior year, his comments evolved into future predictions. What's your plan after graduation? Thanksgiving again. I was counting hours until I could leave. Curator positions. Museum education programs. Non-profit work. He cut his turkey with surgical precision. Those jobs pay like $35,000 starting. I'm aware. I made $90,000 base first year out of college, plus commission. He looked at Claire with pride. That's how you build wealth. Not everyone measures success by salary. Everyone who wants to retire does. Laughter. Dad joined in. But hey, if you want to be broke and passionate, that's your choice. Mom changed the subject to stop the tension. Not to defend me. Just to stop the discomfort. I left the next morning. Told them I had a Starbucks shift. I didn't. I just couldn't stay in that house. When I posted about making Dean's List, Derek commented, grades don't matter in the real world. When I shared an article I'd written for the campus journal, cute, like a high school project. When I mentioned my museum internship, unpaid. Right? That's exploitation. Every achievement diminished. Every accomplishment dismissed. 6 weeks before graduation, I sent ceremony details to the family chat. Derek's response was immediate. Art degree? That's cute, like a hobby you get certified in. Claire's laughing emoji appeared instantly. Mom's message came an hour later. We'll try to make it, honey. Try. I archived the chat. Invited my roommate's family as backup. The week before graduation, Derek posted on Instagram. Resort photo with Claire in Santa Barbara. Caption. Celebrating my beautiful wife's promotion. So proud. Claire had gotten a $15,000 raise. Dad commented, that's our girl. Success runs in the family. I graduated 3 days later. None of them mentioned it. June 14th arrived with perfect Los Angeles sunshine. I woke at 6:30 a.m. My roommate had already left for her family breakfast. I got ready alone. Navy blue dress, nude heels, light makeup, cap and gown pressed the night before. I looked at myself in the mirror. 4 years, 3 jobs. I'd made it. I arrived at UCLA's Poly Pavilion at noon. The ceremony didn't start until 2 p.m., but I needed time to breathe. The venue was massive. Graduated seating, stage with podium, screens displaying the university seal. 2,800 graduating seniors. Purple and gold everywhere. Families were already arriving, Fathers in suits, mothers with cameras, siblings holding balloons. I checked my phone. No messages. I texted the family chat. Ceremony starts at 2. Here early if you want to meet up. Delivered. Read. No response. They're driving, I told myself. Traffic's bad. At 1:45, I checked again. Nothing. At 2, the ceremony began. I sat in row L, seat 14. Around me, classmates waved to their families, blew kisses, took photos. I scanned the crowd. Once, twice, 3 times. They weren't there. My stomach dropped. Maybe I missed them. Maybe they're in back. I stood slightly, craning my neck. The guest section held hundreds of people. Families clustered together, phones raised, smiles everywhere. Not one was mine. I sat down. My hands shook. Dean Morrison spoke about perseverance, about families who supported us on this journey. I dug my nails into my palms. When they reached the R's, my heart hammered. Jenna Rodriguez. I walked across the stage, shook hands, accepted my diploma cover. The audience applauded. No one was clapping for me. I smiled for the camera. Flash. Walked back. Sat down. Stared at the empty diploma cover. 4 years. The ceremony ended at 4:30. People flooded toward their families. Hugs, flowers, laughter. I walked slowly. One message. From Claire. Sorry we couldn't make it. Derek had a work thing. Congrats. A work thing. I pocketed my phone and headed toward the outdoor plaza. That's when I saw them. All of them. Mom, Dad, Claire, Derek, Aunt Patricia, Uncle Tom, cousins, neighbors. 43 people. Near the fountain. Laughing, holding champagne. They'd been here the whole time. I walked toward them. My heels clicked on concrete. Mom saw me first. Jenna, there you are. You were here? Of course. We've been here since what time, Tom? About 3:30, Uncle Tom said. 3:30. The ceremony started at 2. You missed it. These things run long. We saw you walk across. Mom reached for a hug. I stepped back. Dad cleared his throat. Let's get a family photo. I stood there in my cap and gown, surrounded by 43 people who couldn't arrive on time. Derek appeared beside Claire. That condescending smile. Congrats, Jenna. You did it. Art degree and everything. Thanks. Got job offers yet? 3 interviews next week. Interviews aren't offers. He sipped champagne. But hey, maybe you'll get lucky. People gathered for photos. I stood stiffly, smiled when told. Derek pulled me aside. Real talk, this degree isn't going to do anything for you. I stared at him. Just trying to help. You wasted 4 years on paintings. If I were you, I'd get a real graduate degree. Business. Something useful. I like what I studied. Liking something doesn't pay rent. He glanced at Claire. She made smart choices. You still could. Someone yelled for a photo. Derek threw his arm around my shoulders. Mid-photo, he reached up and snatched my cap off my head. Hey. He held it above me, grinned, then crushed it between his fists. Flattened the tassel, bent the cardboard, and slam-dunked it into a trash can. The sound echoed. You're still a failure, Jenna. Art degree equals unemployment. 43 people stood there. Aunt Patricia gasped. No one moved. Claire filmed it, phone raised, laughing. Mom looked away. Dad sighed. I walked to the trash can, reached in, pulled out my cap. Crushed, bent, his fingerprints visible on fabric. I placed it back on my head. Turned to face them. All 43, every phone out. I walked away. Through the plaza, past the fountain, toward the parking lot. Behind me. She's so dramatic. Laughter. I sat in my car at 5:47. Stared at the crushed cap. My phone buzzed. Cousin Maria. Jenna, I'm so sorry. I recorded it if you need it. I typed back, send it. The video arrived. I watched twice. Derek's voice. You're still a failure. Claire laughing. 43 witnesses. Maria had posted it on TikTok. I opened the app. 340,000 views. The comments flooded in. This is assault. Get a lawyer. Why does he care about her money? I read that 3 times. Her money. Then I remembered. At the plaza, Derek had whispered to Claire, "Don't worry, the real money's safe." What real money? I opened my banking app, checked my credit score. It had dropped. I logged into Credit Karma. One alert. New inquiry, Capital One. 8 months ago. I'd never applied to Capital One. Account opened. November 15th. $12,400 balance. Shipping address. 2847 Meadowbrook Lane, Austin, Texas. Claire and Derek's address. I sat there with my crushed cap and felt everything tilt. They hadn't just humiliated me. They'd stolen from me. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my apartment with my laptop open, crushed graduation cap on the desk beside me, refreshing Credit Karma every 30 seconds. The inquiry was real. Capital One. Opened 8 months ago. I'd never applied to Capital One. My phone buzzed constantly. The video had exploded. Cousin Maria's TikTok post had hit 2.1 million views by midnight. The comments kept coming. This is literal assault. She should press charges. His body language screams narcissist. Then one comment made me stop scrolling. Why does he care so much about her money? This feels personal. Her money. Derek's whisper echoed in my head. Don't worry, the real money's safe. I screenshot the Credit Karma alert. Stared at it. $12,400 balance. 94% utilization. Shipping address. 2847 Meadowbrook Lane, Austin, Texas. That was their house. I'd sent Claire a birthday card there 6 months ago. My hands shook as I dialed Capital One's fraud department. The automated system answered. I pressed through 5 menus before reaching a human voice. Capital One Fraud Department. This is Kevin speaking. Hi, there's an account on my credit report I didn't open. My voice cracked. I need to know what's going on. I can help with that. Can I have your name and the last 4 digits of your social security number? I provided them. Keyboard clicking. Silence stretched for 15 seconds. Okay, Miss Rodriguez, I see the account. Opened November 15th. Current balance, $12,428. Would you like me to email you the full statement? Yes, but I didn't open this account. I understand. Let me pull up the application details. More clicking. Application was submitted online. Shipping address on file is 2847 Meadowbrook Lane, Austin, Texas. Does that address sound familiar? My stomach turned. That's my sister's address. Is your sister an authorized user on this account? I don't know. I've never seen this account before today. Kevin's tone shifted. Professional to concerned. Miss Rodriguez, this could be identity theft. I'm going to flag this account and send you our fraud affidavit. You'll need to file a police report. Identity theft. The words didn't feel real. What were the charges? I can email you the full statement, but I'm seeing purchases at Best Buy, Pottery Barn, Nordstrom, several cash advances. The account opened at a $15,000 limit and is currently 83% utilized. $12,428. While I was working 30-hour weeks. While I was selling my laptop for textbook money. Send me everything, I said. Absolutely. You should also check your full credit report. If someone opened one account, there might be others. Others. I thanked Kevin and hung up. My email chimed 2 minutes later. Capital One statement. PDF attachment. I opened it. 17 pages. November 15th. Best Buy $4,237.89. Austin TX. November 22nd. Pottery Barn, $1,899.12. Austin, TX. December 3rd. Nordstrom, $2,104.56. Austin, TX. December 18th. Cash advance, $1,500. January 9th. Cash advance, $800. The dates blurred together. I cross-referenced my calendar. November 15th, I'd been taking finals, working double shifts at Starbucks to cover rent, while they spent $4,237 at Best Buy using my name. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I pulled up my full credit report, the free annual one I was entitled to. 2 minutes to load. Then I saw it. 2 accounts I'd never opened. Capital One, $12,428 balance. Chase Sapphire, $12,280 balance. Total fraudulent debt, $24,708. I stared at the screen until the numbers stopped making sense. $24,000. Stolen over 18 months while I survived on ramen and library air conditioning. Derek's voice played on loop in my head. You're still a failure. No, they were thieves. And I was going to prove it. 3 days after graduation, I walked into Chase Bank on Westwood Boulevard. I'd called ahead, made an appointment with the fraud department, brought every document I could find: driver's license, social security card, student ID, printed credit reports. The bank representative was a woman in her 40s named Patricia Chen. She wore glasses and had kind eyes that shifted to concern when I explained why I was there. "Let me pull up the account," she said, typing. I sat across from her desk, hands folded in my lap to keep them from shaking. Okay, Chase Sapphire Reserve Card. Opened January 19th, 18 months ago. Current balance $12,280.14. Credit limit $15,000. She looked up at me. "You're saying you didn't open this?" "I've never even applied for a Chase card." Patricia clicked through screens. The application was submitted online. Let me check the details. My stomach churned. Shipping address: 2847 Meadowbrook Lane, Austin, Texas. She paused. There's an authorized user listed: Claire Mitchell. My sister's married name. The room tilted. She's listed as an authorized user? Yes. Added the same day the account opened. She would have her own card linked to your account. Patricia's voice softened. "Miss Rodriguez, this is identity theft. Your sister used your information without your consent." Identity theft. Kevin had said it. Now Patricia was saying it. It still didn't feel real. "Can you print the statement? All of it?" "Absolutely." The printer hummed for 90 seconds. Patricia handed me 43 pages. I flipped through them with trembling hands. January 19th, 18 months ago. Apple Store, $2,847. Austin, TX. February 3rd. West Elm, $1,923.45. Austin, TX. February 28th. Whole Foods, $487.32. Austin, TX. March 15th. Delta Airlines, $1,650. 2 tickets to Cancun. April 2nd. Cash advance, $2,000. The list went on. And on. Furniture, electronics, groceries, vacations, cash. Everything purchased while I was at UCLA, working myself to exhaustion. My vision blurred. I blinked back tears. "This started 18 months ago," I whispered. Patricia nodded. "It appears so. 18 months. I'd been a sophomore, spring semester." That was when Claire and Derek moved into their new house, the one they'd furnished beautifully, the one they'd posted about constantly on Instagram. I'd admired their West Elm couch at Easter. Claire had smiled and said, "Derek works so hard for us." They'd bought it with my identity. "What do I do?" My voice cracked. First, file a police report. Bring these statements. Then we'll close this account and remove the charges. You won't be liable for fraudulent debt. Patricia handed me a business card. But Miss Rodriguez, if your sister did this, you'll need to press charges. That's the only way to clear it from your credit. Press charges. Against my own sister. My hands shook as I took the card. I drove home in a daze. Parked outside my apartment. Sat in the car staring at 43 pages of evidence. Then I pulled out my phone and opened Instagram. Claire's profile. Public account. Hundreds of photos. I scrolled back 18 months. January 20th. Photo of a new MacBook Pro. Caption. Upgrade time. February 5th. Their living room. West Elm couch visible. Caption. Finally making this house a home. March 17th. Airport selfie. Caption. Cancun bound. Every purchase matched the Chase statement. Every single one. They hadn't even tried to hide it. I screenshot everything. Created a folder on my phone labeled Evidence. Then I did something I should have done 3 days ago. I called the police. LAPD non-emergency line. A dispatcher answered on the second ring. I need to file an identity theft report. Can you come to the station? Yes. Which one? West LA Station on Butler Avenue. Bring all documentation. I arrived 40 minutes later. The lobby smelled like industrial cleaner and stale coffee. I approached the front desk, handed over my documents, and said the words that made everything real. My sister stole my identity. She opened credit cards in my name. I have proof. The officer name tag read Rodriguez. No relation took my statement for an hour. Every detail, every dollar, every date. When I finished, he handed me a case number on a small white card. Detective Diaz will follow up within 48 hours, he said. This is a serious crime, Miss Rodriguez. Identity theft, fraud. If your sister did this, she's looking at felony charges. Felony. My sister. I walked out of that police station with case number 2024 to 187743 and felt my entire life shift. This wasn't just family drama anymore. This was federal crime. I couldn't stop looking at the dates. Back in my apartment, I spread both credit card statements across my desk, Capital One and Chase, 43 pages on one side, 17 on the other, 60 pages of theft. I grabbed a yellow highlighter and started marking the opening dates. Chase Sapphire, January 19th, 18 months ago. Capital One, November 15th, 8 months ago. 18 months. I pulled up my phone calendar and counted backward. January, 18 months ago, that was spring semester of my sophomore year. I remembered that month. I'd been denied a student loan increase. My credit score had mysteriously dropped from 720 to 580. The financial aid office couldn't explain it. I'd assumed it was a mistake, some algorithmic error. It wasn't an error. They'd opened the first card and tanked my credit. My hands clenched around the highlighter. I started cross-referencing dates with my own memories. January 19th, Chase account opened. I remembered that week. I'd worked 42 hours between my 3 jobs because rent was due and I was $200 short. I'd skipped meals to make the numbers work. That same week, Claire posted her new MacBook on Instagram. For $2,847 according to the Chase statement. February 3rd, West Elm purchase. $1,923.45. I'd visited them that weekend. Their new house. I'd walked in and seen that couch gray fabric, mid-century modern style. Beautiful. Derek surprised me, Claire had said, running her hand over the cushions. Early anniversary gift. I'd felt envious, ashamed of my envy, guilty for wanting things I couldn't afford. They'd bought it with my identity. March 15th, Delta Airlines, $1,650. Cancun. I remembered their vacation photos. Turquoise water, beach sunset, Claire in a bikini with a cocktail. I'd been in the library studying for midterms, surviving on vending machine crackers because I'd run out of meal plan funds. They were in Mexico. On my credit. November 15th. Capital One opened. Best Buy $4,237.89. Finals week. My busiest week of the semester. I'd worked 23 hours at Starbucks on top of 18 credit hours and 3 final exams. They'd spent $4,237 at Best Buy. I pulled up Claire's Instagram again. Scrolled to November. November 17th. Photo of Derek with a new 65-inch TV. Caption. Upgrade. Movie nights just got better. The dates matched perfectly. Every single purchase. I felt something break inside my chest. Not my heart. Something deeper. The part of me that had spent years making excuses for them. They're just practical. They value different things. I'm too sensitive. No. They were criminals. For 18 months, while I worked myself to exhaustion, they'd been living off my stolen identity. I grabbed my phone and opened the family group chat, the one I'd archived after graduation. Scrolled through 18 months of messages. Every time I'd mentioned struggling financially, no one responded. Every time Claire posted about a new purchase, Mom and Dad congratulated her. My sophomore year. Can barely afford groceries this month. No replies. Claire, same week, new furniture delivered. Mom, gorgeous, you two have such great taste. My junior year. Working extra shifts to cover textbooks. No replies. Derek, same month. Just closed a $200K deal celebrating in Cancun. Dad, that's my boy. Proud of you, son. Every message was evidence of a pattern I'd been too close to see. They'd praise the people stealing from me while ignoring my suffering. I stood up. Paced my apartment. 18 months of theft. $24,708 in fraudulent charges. I did the math. At $12 per hour, my Starbucks wage that was 2,059 hours of work. 51 40-hour weeks. An entire year of full-time labor. They'd stolen a year of my life. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Hello? Miss Rodriguez? This is Detective Ramon Diaz with LAPD. I'm calling about your identity theft report. My heart rate spiked. Yes. Thank you for calling. I've reviewed your case file. This is substantial. 2 credit cards. 18 months of fraudulent activity. Your sister listed as authorized user. He paused. Do you have documentation? 60 pages, bank statements, Instagram posts that match the purchase dates, everything. Good, that's good. I'd like you to come in tomorrow. Bring everything. We'll need to expand this investigation. Expand it? Credit card fraud across state lines involves federal jurisdiction. FBI might get involved. His voice was calm. Professional. Miss Rodriguez, your sister and brother-in-law committed serious crimes. We're talking felony charges. Are you prepared for that? Felony charges. Against Claire. I thought about the graduation video. Derek's hands crushing my cap. His voice. You're still a failure. Claire filming and laughing. 43 people watching. 18 months of theft. Yes, I said. I'm prepared. Good. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. West LA Station. Ask for me at the front desk. He hung up. I sat down on my couch, stared at 60 pages of evidence spread across my desk. For 18 months, they'd stolen from me. Made me feel worthless. Called me a failure. While living off my identity, I picked up my phone and called Marcus. He answered on the first ring. Jenna? You okay? No. My voice shook. But I will be. I need your help. Anything. They stole from me, Marcus. For 18 months. I have proof. Silence. Then, I'm coming over right now. He arrived 20 minutes later with his laptop and pre-law textbooks. We spent 4 hours organizing evidence, creating timelines, cross-referencing dates. By midnight, we had a case file. By 1 a.m., I knew exactly what I was going to do. Press charges, pursue prosecution, expose everything. They'd called me a failure while stealing my future. Now I was going to take theirs. I called Marcus at 11:47 p.m. He answered on the second ring, voice thick with sleep. Jenna? What's wrong? Can I come over? Now? Please. Silence for 3 seconds. Then, yeah, of course. I'll put coffee on. I drove to his apartment in Silver Lake. Knocked on his door at 12:23 a.m. with 60 pages of bank statements clutched in my hands. Marcus opened the door in sweatpants and a UCLA law t-shirt. His expression shifted from concern to alarm when he saw my face. Come in. Sit down. His kitchen table was small, cluttered with case law textbooks. He cleared space while I collapsed into a chair. Tell me everything, he said. So I did. The credit cards, the dates, the Instagram posts. Claire's name as authorized user. 18 months of theft. $24,708. I talked for 17 minutes straight. My voice shook but didn't break. When I finished, Marcus sat back in his chair, eyes wide. Jenna, this is identity theft. Federal crime. I know. No, I don't think you understand. He leaned forward, urgency in his voice. Your sister's name is on the account as authorized user. That's conspiracy. They both did this. Derek too? He lives with her. Benefits from the purchases. Yeah, Derek too. Marcus grabbed one of the statements, scanned it. Best Buy, Pottery Barn, vacations. This isn't accidental. This is systematic fraud. I felt something loosen in my chest. Validation. You believe me? Believe you. Marcus looked at me like I'd asked if the sky was blue. Jenna, you have documentation, bank statements, Instagram evidence, a police report. This isn't belief. This is fact. My eyes stung. My parents will say I'm overreacting. You're not, his voice turned sharp. You're being criminal ed against. There's a difference. They're family. Family doesn't steal from you. Marcus pulled up something on his phone. Look, USC law database. Identity theft penalties. Federal charges carry 2 to 15 years in prison, depending on the amount stolen. 15 years. They stole $24,708, he continued. That's aggravated identity theft, enhanced penalties. This is serious, Jenna. I stared at the numbers on the statements. What do I do? First, you need a lawyer. Criminal defense attorney who specializes in fraud. They'll walk you through options, criminal charges, civil lawsuit, restraining orders. That costs money. Initial consultations are usually free, and if you sue civilly, you can recover damages plus legal fees. Marcus grabbed a notepad, started writing. Second, you freeze your credit completely. All 3 bureaus. No one can open anything new in your name. Okay. Third, you document everything. Every conversation from here on out. Record if California's a one-party consent state, which it is. Save every text, every voicemail. I nodded, taking mental notes. Fourth, and this is important, you tell no one in your family what you're doing. Not yet. No warning. They'll destroy evidence or flee jurisdiction. Claire wouldn't. Claire filmed Derek assaulting you and laughed, Marcus interrupted. Claire used your identity to buy furniture. She absolutely would. He was right. You're not overreacting, Marcus said again. Softer this time. You're protecting yourself. That's different. I looked at him across that cluttered kitchen table at 1:15 a.m. and felt something shift. I wasn't alone anymore. Will you help me? I asked. I'm pre-law. I can't give legal advice, but I can help you organize evidence, make calls, research precedent. He met my eyes. And I can be there. When you need someone, I'm there. My throat tightened. Thank you. Don't thank me. This is what friends do. He pulled his laptop over. Now, let's make a list. Everything we need, every step. We're going to build a case so airtight they can't breathe. We worked until 3 a.m. By the time I left, I had a plan. And for the first time in 18 months, I had hope. 5 days after graduation, I sat in a glass-walled office on the 14th floor of a downtown LA high-rise. The sign on the door read, Sarah Mitchell, attorney at law, criminal defense and fraud specialist. No relation to Derek, the receptionist had assured me when I'd called. Sarah Mitchell was 43, sharp-eyed, wearing a navy suit that probably cost more than my monthly rent. She reviewed my documents with the kind of focus that made me sit straighter. "Walk me through the timeline," she said. I did. The credit cards. The dates. Claire as authorized user. Derek's graduation assault. The viral video. The police report. Sarah took notes on a legal pad in neat, efficient handwriting. When I finished, she set down her pen and looked at me. "Miss Rodriguez, what your sister and brother-in-law did constitutes multiple federal crimes." My stomach tightened. "Which crimes?" "Identity theft under 18 U.S.C. Section 1028. That's the federal statute. Wire fraud, because transactions crossed state lines. Social Security fraud, because they used your SSN without authorization. And conspiracy, because they acted together." She tapped her pen against the pad. "Each charge carries different penalties, but we're looking at potential prison time ranging from 2 to 15 years depending on how the prosecution proceeds." 15 years. "What are my options?" I asked. "3 paths. First, criminal prosecution. You've already filed a police report, which is good. The DA's office decides whether to pursue charges. If they do, the state prosecutes. You're a witness, not the plaintiff. It costs you nothing financially, but it's also out of your control. Second, civil lawsuit. You sue them for damages, the $24,708 they stole, plus emotional distress, legal fees, credit repair costs. You control the case, but it'll cost you $8,000 to $12,000 in upfront legal fees. Takes 6 to 8 months typically. I swallowed hard. I don't have $8,000. Many attorneys work on contingency for cases this strong. You pay nothing up front. They take a percentage of the settlement, usually 30 to 40%. And the third option? Restraining order. Immediate protection. Keeps them away from you legally. 500 feet minimum. Usually granted for 3 to 5 years. Costs about $500 to file, or free if you qualify for a fee waiver. 500 feet. "Can I do all 3? I asked. Sarah smiled slightly. "Yes. In fact, I'd recommend it. Criminal charges for justice. Civil suit for financial recovery. Restraining order for safety. They're my family. Would a judge really grant a restraining order?" "Miss Rodriguez, I've seen your viral video. Derek Mitchell physically assaulted you on camera. That alone qualifies. Add in financial crimes and you have an exceptionally strong case." She leaned forward. "Here's what most people don't understand. Family members commit the majority of identity theft cases, 60%. Judges see this constantly. My parents will say I'm destroying the family. Your sister destroyed the family when she committed felonies against you." Sarah's voice was firm but kind. "This isn't about revenge. This is about accountability and protection." I looked down at my hands. "How long does this take?" "Criminal cases? 8 to 14 months from filing to resolution. Civil cases settle faster, usually within 6 months. Restraining orders can be granted within 2 weeks if there's imminent threat, which there is, given the assault. So I'm looking at a year of this. Possibly. But Miss Rodriguez and I want you to hear this clearly. You will win. Your evidence is overwhelming. Bank statements with her name. Instagram posts matching every charge. 43 witnesses to assault. This is one of the strongest cases I've seen in 10 years of practice." Something settled in my chest. What do I do next? "You hire me. We file restraining order paperwork tomorrow. I contact the DA's office and push for criminal prosecution. We file civil suit within 30 days. She slid a contract across the desk. I'll take your civil case on contingency. 35% of settlement. You pay nothing up front. I read the contract twice. Signed on the third page. Welcome to the fight, Miss Rodriguez, Sarah said. Now let's make them pay. Over the next 2 weeks, I became a detective. Marcus called it evidence acquisition. I called it necessary obsession. We started with the bank statements. 60 pages total. I highlighted every fraudulent charge in yellow. Then cross-referenced each one with Claire's social media. The matches were perfect. Chase statement, January 19th. Apple Store, $2,847. Claire's Instagram, January 20th. Photo of MacBook Pro. Upgrade time. Capital One statement, November 15th. Best Buy, $4,237.89. Claire's Instagram, November 17th. Derek with new TV. Movie nights just got better. Every single purchase had a corresponding post. Marcus created a spreadsheet, 3 columns, date, charge amount, Instagram evidence, 47 rows, visual proof of systematic theft. This is prosecutorial gold, he said, reviewing the document. Juries love timelines. Next, I gathered text messages. I'd never deleted a single family group chat. Every conversation from the past 2 years sat in my phone's archive. I went through them methodically. Instances where I mentioned financial struggles, 17 messages. Family responses to those messages, 2 total, both from Aunt Patricia. Instances where Claire posted about new purchases, 34 messages. Family responses, 112. Congratulations, praise, encouragement. The disparity was brutal. Marcus helped me create a second document. Pattern of favoritism and neglect. Evidence that my family knew I was struggling and chose to ignore it while celebrating the people stealing from me. Then I tackled social media. I downloaded every Instagram post Claire had made in the past 18 months. Marcus found a tool that archived them with timestamps. 163 posts total. 47 directly matched fraudulent purchases. I organized them chronologically, printed them, put them in a 3-ring binder with tabs labeled by month. On June 22nd, Detective Ramon Diaz called. Miss Rodriguez, I need you to come to the station. We're expanding the investigation. I arrived at West LA Station at 2 p.m. with Marcus. Brought 3 binders of evidence. Detective Diaz was mid-40s, graying hair, steady presence. He led us to an interview room, small, fluorescent lighting, recording equipment on the table. This is impressive, he said, flipping through the first binder. Most victims don't have documentation this thorough. I want to make sure there's no room for doubt, I said. There isn't. He pulled out the Instagram evidence. This is compelling. Every purchase matched with a social media post. Defense attorneys hate this kind of evidence. What happens now? Marcus asked. FBI's getting involved. Your sister used your social security number for credit fraud across state lines. That triggers federal jurisdiction. Diaz looked at me seriously. Miss Rodriguez, this is going to get big. FBI investigation, possible grand jury, media attention. Are you prepared for that? I thought about the graduation video. 2.1 million views. Derek's voice. You're still a failure. Yes. Good. I'll need you to file a formal victim impact statement. Detail how this affected you financially, emotionally, academically. Be specific. Judges read these. I can do that. One more thing. Diaz pulled out a form. We're going to recommend the DA pursue charges, but they'll want to know, are you willing to testify against your sister in court? The question hung in the air. Testify against Claire. Under oath. In front of a judge and jury. My sister. I looked at the binders on the table. Evidence of 18 months of theft. Of every struggle they'd ignored. Of the graduation day assault 43 people witnessed. Yes, I said. I'll testify. Diaz nodded. Then we have a case. Over the following days, the investigation grew. FBI agent Victoria Park contacted me, scheduled an interview, requested all financial documents. Sarah Mitchell filed the restraining order, court date set for 3 weeks out. I froze my credit with all 3 bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. No one could open anything new in my name. Marcus helped me document every email I'd ever received from Claire or Derek. We found 8 where Derek had joked about my financial situation. Evidence of knowledge and cruelty. Aunt Patricia called on June 25th. Jenna, honey, I heard you're filing charges. My stomach dropped. Who told you? Your mother. She's devastated. Says you're overreacting. Aunt Patricia, they stole $24,000 from me. Silence. Then, what? I explained everything. The credit cards, the 18 months, the evidence. When I finished, Aunt Patricia's voice was cold with rage. I'm testifying for you. Whatever you need. I'm there. My support system expanded. Cousin Maria offered testimony about the graduation assault. She'd filmed it from a different angle. Cousin David, a CPA, volunteered to analyze the financial documents for court. Forensic accounting, he called it. Juries trust numbers. 3 UCLA friends reached out. They'd witnessed my financial struggles firsthand. Remembered me selling textbooks, working double shifts, skipping meals. We'll testify, they said. No one should get away with this. By July 1st, I had 3 binders of evidence, 47 Instagram posts matched to charges, 8 character witnesses, police report with case number, FBI investigation initiated, attorney on contingency, restraining order filed. Marcus looked at the assembled materials spread across my apartment floor and whistled. This isn't a case anymore, he said. This is an arsenal. I stared at the evidence of 18 months of systematic theft. They'd called me a failure. They'd stolen my identity. They'd humiliated me in front of my entire family. Now I was going to destroy them. Legally. Completely. Permanently. The invitation arrived on June 28th. Mom's annual 4th of July barbecue. Digital invite to the family group chat. Join us for food, family, and fireworks. 2 p.m. at our place. Bring the kids. 63 people confirmed attendance. I stared at the invite for 5 minutes before responding. I'll be there. Mom replied immediately. So glad, honey. We've missed you. They hadn't called once since graduation. I screenshot the exchange and sent it to Marcus. His response came 30 seconds later. This is it. This is when you do it. I called Sarah Mitchell that afternoon. A public family gathering with 60-plus witnesses? Her voice carried approval. That's ideal. Public confrontation often produces admissions. And with that many people, someone will film it. Is that legal? Confronting them publicly? Absolutely. You're not threatening them. You're stating facts you can prove. Bring your evidence binder. Make it visual. She paused. Detective Diaz should know. He might want officers nearby in case things escalate. I called Diaz next. 4th of July barbecue. Your parents' house. 60 people. He was already taking notes. We'll have a unit 2 blocks away. Plainclothes. If Derek gets physical again, we intervene immediately. What if they just deny everything? They will deny. That's expected. But denial in front of 60 witnesses, including family who know you don't lie, that's powerful. And Miss Rodriguez? People who are innocent don't usually panic. Guilty people do. Over the next 6 days, Marcus and I prepared like lawyers before trial. We rehearsed my speech 14 times, timed it, refined it, cut unnecessary words, made it devastating. For 18 months, while I worked 30 hours a week and survived on ramen, Claire and Derek stole from me. Short sentences, hard facts, no emotion until the end. Marcus played devil's advocate, interrupted with questions Derek might ask, challenged my evidence, made me prove every claim. By the 13th rehearsal, my hands had stopped shaking. By the 14th, I believed every word. We finalized the evidence binder. 3 sections, tabbed and color-coded. Section 1. Bank statements. Yellow highlighted charges. Section 2. Instagram posts. Each matched to a charge. Section 3. Timeline. Spreadsheet showing 18 months of systematic theft. This is prosecutorial quality, Marcus said, reviewing it one last time. They can't defend against this. I contacted my allies. Aunt Patricia. I'll be there early. Front row. Whatever you need. Cousin Maria. I'm bringing my good camera. High definition. We're documenting everything. Cousin David. I've analyzed the financials. If anyone questions the numbers, I'll back you up. 3 UCLA friends confirmed attendance. We've got your back. July 3rd, the night before. I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, running through the speech in my mind. My phone buzzed at 11:47 p.m. Marcus. You've got this. They deserve what's coming. I'm proud of you. I read it 3 times. Then I got up, walked to my desk, and looked at the crushed graduation cap I'd kept. Still bent. Still showing Derek's fingerprints. Tomorrow I was going to make them pay for every moment they'd made me feel worthless. Tomorrow, the entire family would know the truth. Tomorrow, everything changed. July 4th arrived with cloudless sky and temperatures climbing toward 90 degrees. I woke at 7 a.m. Couldn't sleep longer. Adrenaline had replaced exhaustion. I chose my outfit carefully. Red blazer power color, patriotic. White blouse, dark jeans. I wanted to look put together, professional, credible. The evidence binder sat on my kitchen counter. I'd checked it 6 times already. Everything was there. My phone buzzed constantly with messages from family members excited about the barbecue. Claire, 9:23 a.m. Can't wait to see everyone. It's been too long. Derek, 9:45 a.m. Bringing my famous ribs. Hope you're hungry. They had no idea what was coming. Mom texted at 10:15 a.m. Jenna, honey, could you pick up ice on the way? 2 bags? Sure, I replied. Normal. Everything had to seem normal. Marcus arrived at my apartment at noon. He'd dressed up 2 button-down shirt, khakis. Moral support needs to look respectable, he said. We loaded the evidence binder and my purse into his car. He drove. I couldn't trust my hands on the wheel. You remember the plan? He asked. Wait until everyone's gathered. After food, before dessert, when they're relaxed. And if Derek gets physical? Diaz has officers 2 blocks away. I have my phone. You'll be right there. Marcus squeezed my hand at a red light. You're the bravest person I know. We stopped at a gas station. I bought 2 bags of ice like Mom requested. The mundane task felt surreal. My parents' house was in Pasadena. Half-acre backyard with mature oak trees and string lights. Perfect for parties. I'd attended dozens of gatherings here over the years. This would be the last. We arrived at 1:47 p.m. Cars already lined the street. I counted 16 vehicles. Marcus parked 3 houses down. You ready? No. But I'm doing it anyway. That's courage. We walked up the driveway. I could hear music playing, laughter floating from the backyard. Aunt Patricia was setting up a folding table near the fence. She saw me and smiled a small, knowing smile. She knew what was coming. Mom appeared at the back door. Jenna, you made it, and you brought Marcus. She hugged me. I stood stiff in her embrace. Got your ice, I said, holding up the bags. You're a lifesaver. Put them in the cooler by the grill. I walked through the house and into the backyard. 68 people were scattered across the lawn. Cousins playing cornhole. Uncles standing by the grill. Kids running through sprinklers. And there, near the patio table, stood Claire and Derek. Claire wore a sundress, laughing at something Aunt Linda said. Derek held a beer, confident and relaxed. He saw me, raised his beer in mock salute. Hey Jenna, glad you could make it. No hard feelings about graduation, right? Just a joke. Just a joke. I smiled tightly. Right. No hard feelings. Marcus touched my elbow, grounding me. I found a spot near the oak tree, set down my purse with the evidence binder inside. Aunt Patricia positioned herself nearby. Cousin Maria stood by the fence with her camera pretending to take family photos but really documenting. The barbecue continued. Food was served at 2:45 p.m. Ribs, chicken, potato salad, watermelon, everyone ate, talked, laughed. I couldn't taste anything. I pushed food around my plate and watched the clock on my phone. 3:30 p.m. Almost time. At 4:15 p.m., Uncle Tom tapped his beer bottle with a fork. Annual tradition. Family speeches. People always shared updates, made toasts, told stories. Derek volunteered first. Of course he did. I just want to say how grateful I am for this family. You've welcomed me with open arms. Claire and I feel so blessed. He raised his beer. To family! Everyone echoed. To family. Claire went next. Thanked everyone. Mentioned their recent vacation. Their beautiful house. Everything purchased with my stolen identity. Then Dad asked, "Anyone else?" I stood up. 68 people looked at me. Marcus's eyes met mine. Steady, supportive. Aunt Patricia nodded once. I pulled the evidence binder from my purse. I have something to say. The backyard goes quiet. 68 people. String lights overhead. The smell of barbecue smoke. Kids frozen mid-game. I stand in the center of the patio. Evidence binder in my hands. 3 weeks ago, Derek Mitchell physically assaulted me at my UCLA graduation. My voice carries across the yard. Clear. Steady. Derek's face shifts. Confident to confused. "Jenna, what are you?" In front of 43 family members, he snatched my graduation cap off my head, crushed it, and threw it in a trash can. I open the binder, pull out a printed screenshot. This video has 2.1 million views. Everyone here has seen it. Aunt Patricia nods. Cousin Maria has her camera up. Mom steps forward. "Honey, we've moved past." But that assault wasn't the real crime. I pull out the first bank statement. Hold it up. The real crime is this. Identity theft. For 18 months, Claire and Derek opened credit cards in my name and stole $24,708. Silence. Complete, absolute silence. Claire's face drains of color. "What? No. That's Chase Sapphire card. Opened 18 months ago. $12,280 in fraudulent charges." I pull out the second statement. Capital One card. Opened 8 months ago. $12,428 in fraudulent charges. Both shipped to 2847 Meadowbrook Lane, Austin, Texas. Your address, Claire. I walk forward. Hand the statements to Uncle Tom. He takes them, stares. "You're lying," Derek says. His voice is too loud. Defensive. Claire's name is listed as authorized user on both accounts. I pull out the highlighted section. Circle it with my finger. Right here, Claire Mitchell, authorized user. She had her own cards linked to my identity. Aunt Linda gasps. "Claire?" Claire's hands shake. "I didn't," Derek said it was. "It was what?" I turned to her. "Legal. Derek told you it was legal to steal my social security number and open credit cards without my knowledge? We were going to pay it back." Claire's voice breaks. "It was temporary." Admission. In front of 68 witnesses. Uncle Tom looks up from the statements. "These charges go back 18 months. Exactly 18 months. I pull out the timeline spreadsheet. Every purchase matches Claire's Instagram posts. January 19th, Chase card opened. January 20th. Claire posts about her new MacBook Pro. $2,847. Stolen using my identity. I hand the timeline to Cousin David. He's a CPA. He scans it. His face hardens. This is systematic fraud, David says. 47 purchases matched to social media posts. Derek's face reddens. You people are believing this? She's making it up for attention. She's always been jealous of our success. Our success? My voice rises. You mean the success you built by stealing from me? While I worked 3 jobs and survived on ramen, you bought a $4,200 TV with my credit. I pull out the Instagram screenshots. Pass them around. November 15th Best Buy charge for $4,237. November 17th Derek posts about the new TV. I turn to Derek. Your exact words. Movie nights just got better. You thanked me in the comments, said I'd love it next time I visited. Derek lunges toward me. You ungrateful. Marcus steps between us. Uncle Tom grabs Derek's arm. Don't, Marcus says quietly. There are 68 witnesses here, and police 2 blocks away. Derek freezes. Police? LAPD case number 2024-1-87743. Filed 3 weeks ago. FBI agent Victoria Park is investigating because you committed Social Security fraud across state lines. I look directly at Claire. Federal crime, Claire. You both face felony charges. Mom's crying now. Jenna, please. We can work this out privately. Privately? I turn to her. Like when I asked for $400 for textbooks, and Dad said I needed to learn financial responsibility? While you gave Claire $35,000 for her wedding, was that private enough? Dad's face goes red. That's different. You're right. It is different. Because while you funded Claire's fairy tale life, she was destroying my credit score. I was denied a student loan increase because these fraudulent accounts tanked my score by 140 points. I couldn't afford textbooks. I sold my laptop. I skipped meals. My voice breaks, not from sadness, from rage, and you all watched me struggle. You knew, and you did nothing. Aunt Patricia stands. Jenna's telling the truth. I've seen the bank statements. I've verified the dates. This is real. Cousin Maria steps forward with her camera. I filmed the graduation assault. I filmed this entire conversation. It's all documented. Claire collapses into a chair. I didn't know it would hurt her credit, Derek said. Derek said what? I move closer. Derek said it was okay to commit federal crimes? To steal from your own sister? I thought you'd never find out. Claire's sobbing now. We needed furniture for the house. Derek's commission check was delayed. It was supposed to be temporary. Another admission. Derek grabs Claire's arm. Shut up. Don't say anything else. Don't touch her, Uncle Tom warns. This is ridiculous. Derek's desperate now. You're all turning on us because of some misunderstanding. It's not a misunderstanding. I pull out the final document. Police report. It's identity theft, wire fraud, Social Security fraud, and conspiracy. My attorney, Sarah Mitchell, downtown LA, has filed for criminal prosecution, civil lawsuit, and a restraining order. Dad finally speaks. Jenna. Think about what you're doing to this family. I look at him, really look at him. I'm not doing anything to this family, Dad. Claire and Derek did this. When they stole from me. When Derek assaulted me at graduation while you watched and said nothing. I turned to address everyone. For 18 months, I was told I was sensitive. That I needed to understand. That Claire and Derek worked hard for their success. But their success was built on my stolen identity. And when Derek threw my graduation cap in the trash and called me a failure, he wasn't joking, he was deflecting. Because he knew discovery was coming. I close the binder. Look at Claire and Derek. You're both under FBI investigation. The evidence is overwhelming. You will be charged. You will be prosecuted. And I will testify against you in court. Claire's hysterical. You're destroying this family. No. I'm protecting myself from criminals who happen to be related to me. I turn to Mom and Dad. You have a choice. Believe me and support justice. Or defend them and enable federal crimes. But understand if you choose them, you lose me. Permanently. Mom reaches for me. Honey, please. I step back. I filed a restraining order. The hearing is in 10 days. I'm requesting 500 feet minimum distance for 3 years. If Derek comes near me again, he'll be arrested. Derek explodes. This is bullshit. I'll fight this. You'll what? Marcus steps forward. Assault her again on camera? With 68 witnesses? Try it. See what happens. Uncle Tom pulls out his phone. I'm calling the police. They're already here, I say. Detective Diaz is 2 blocks away. He's been waiting. Derek's face crumbles. Reality hitting. Claire won't stop crying. And I feel nothing but cold satisfaction. I pick up my purse. Look at Aunt Patricia. Thank you for believing me. Always, she says. I look at Cousin Maria. Send me everything you filmed. Already uploading, she says. I turn to leave. Marcus beside me. Behind me, chaos erupts. Shouting, crying, 68 people trying to process what just happened. I walk through the side gate, down the driveway, to Marcus's car. As we pull away, I see Detective Diaz's unmarked vehicle approaching. I don't look back. That night, my phone exploded. 68 people had witnessed the confrontation. By midnight, the video was everywhere. Cousin Maria had posted it. When criminals get exposed at family BBQ, full footage, no edits. 4.7 million views in 24 hours. The comments poured in. This is justice. The sister's admission on camera is wild. FBI needs to see this. They already had. My phone showed 43 missed calls from Mom, 17 from Dad, 12 voicemails I didn't listen to. Claire texted at 2:47 a.m. Please, we can fix this. Don't destroy us. I blocked her number. Derek tried calling from 6 different numbers. I blocked them all. But other messages came too. Supportive ones. Aunt Patricia. Staying at your apartment tonight. You shouldn't be alone. Cousin David. I'm testifying. Whatever you need. 3 UCLA friends. We saw the video. We're here. Detective Diaz called at 9:15 a.m. Derek was arrested last night. Outstanding warrant for assault. He's in custody. Sarah Mitchell called at 10:03 a.m. Your restraining order hearing is expedited. 3 days. This video sealed it. I slept 14 hours that night. When I woke, I felt lighter than I had in 18 months. The legal system moved faster than I expected. 3 days after the barbecue. Restraining order hearing. Downtown LA courthouse. Sarah Mitchell beside me. Judge Patricia Brennan presiding. The bailiff called my case. I walked to the plaintiff's table. Across the aisle, Derek sat with a public defender. Claire wasn't charged yet, cooperating witness. Judge Brennan reviewed my petition, watched the graduation assault video, watched the barbecue confrontation video. Her face remained neutral, but her eyes hardened. Mr. Mitchell, you have anything to say? Derek's lawyer stood. Your Honor, this is a family dispute blown out of proportion. I've watched your client physically assault Miss Rodriguez on camera. I've seen evidence of identity theft. I've heard his alleged co-conspirator admit to fraud in front of 68 witnesses. Judge Brennan looked at Derek. This isn't a dispute. This is criminal behavior. She granted the restraining order. 500 feet. 5 years. Immediate effect. Derek's face crumbled. I felt nothing but cold satisfaction. 2 weeks later, FBI formally charged Derek with 4 federal counts. Count 1, identity theft under 18 U.S.C. Section 1028. Count 2, wire fraud, interstate commerce. Count 3, Social Security fraud. Count 4, conspiracy. Claire accepted a plea deal. Testify against Derek. Plead guilty to 1 count of conspiracy. Receive probation instead of prison. She took it. Threw Derek completely under the bus. 3 months in, preliminary hearing, I testified for 47 minutes. The prosecutor assistant U.S. Attorney Maria Santos walked me through every piece of evidence, Bank statements, Instagram posts, timeline spreadsheet, the graduation video. Derek's defense attorney tried to claim I'd given permission, that it was a misunderstanding. Miss Rodriguez, did you ever authorize your sister or Mr. Mitchell to use your social security number? Never. Did you ever give them permission to open credit cards in your name? Never. Did you receive any benefit from the $24,708 in fraudulent charges? Nothing. I didn't even know the accounts existed until after graduation. The defense attorney couldn't shake my testimony. The evidence was overwhelming. 6 months in, Derek's trial began. Federal courthouse. Judge Michael Rodriguez presiding, no relation, he clarified. The prosecution presented 63 pieces of evidence, every bank statement, every Instagram post, forensic analysis from Cousin David showing the systematic nature of the fraud, character witnesses, my 3 UCLA friends testifying about my financial struggles while Claire and Derek lived lavishly. The defense claimed Derek didn't know Claire was using stolen identity, that he thought she'd opened legitimate accounts. Then the prosecutor played the graduation video. Derek's voice. You're still a failure, Jenna. Art degree equals unemployment. Why would Mr. Mitchell mock Miss Rodriguez's financial future? The prosecutor asked the jury. Unless he knew he'd stolen that future from her. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty. All 4 counts. I sat in the gallery beside Marcus when the verdict was read. His hand found mine. Derek's face went white. His lawyer immediately filed for appeal. Sentencing came 3 weeks later. Judge Rodriguez reviewed the case. The amount stolen. The duration. The relationship between defendant and victim. The public assault captured on video. Mr. Mitchell, you systematically defrauded your wife's sister for 18 months. You lived off her stolen identity while she struggled financially. When discovery became likely, you physically assaulted her at her college graduation and publicly humiliated her. Judge Rodriguez's voice was steel. This court finds your actions calculating, cruel, and deserving of significant punishment. Sentence: 4 years federal prison. $50,000 fine. Full restitution of $24,708 plus interest. 10-year probation after release. Derek broke down crying, begged for mercy. The judge denied it. I watched him led away in handcuffs and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Safe. The civil lawsuit settled 2 months later. Sarah Mitchell negotiated $89,000. The $24,708 stolen, plus treble damages under California law, plus my legal fees, plus compensation for credit damage. Derek's wages would be garnished for the next 15 years. Every month, $450 would be deposited into my account. A reminder that actions have consequences. Claire received 18 months probation, 300 hours of community service, and a criminal record that would follow her forever. But the legal victory was only half the story. The family aftermath was brutal. Mom called me a week after the barbecue. How could you do this to your sister? How could she steal from me for 18 months? She made a mistake. You're destroying her life over money. She committed federal crimes. I didn't destroy her life. She destroyed it herself. If you'd just talked to us. I asked Dad for $400 for textbooks. He said no. You gave Claire $35,000 for a wedding. You knew I was struggling and chose not to help. You don't get to lecture me about family now. Mom hung up. She called back twice. I didn't answer. Dad sent one text. You've torn this family apart. I hope you're happy. I blocked his number. But the division became clear quickly. Team Jenna, 9 people. Aunt Patricia, Uncle Tom, Cousin Maria, Cousin David, Grandma Rodriguez, Mom's mother, who was furious at what Claire had done, Marcus and his family, who'd adopted me completely, my 3 UCLA friends, and surprisingly, Dad's brother, Uncle James, who called Mom and Dad enablers and cut them off. Team Claire, enablers 4 people. Mom, Dad, Claire isolated and divorced. Derek blamed her for cooperating with prosecution. And Mom's sister, Aunt Linda, who believed family doesn't send family to prison. Switzerland the rest. Most extended family went silent. Didn't take sides publicly. Stopped attending family gatherings altogether. The holidays were different. Thanksgiving that year, Aunt Patricia hosted. 12 people came. No Mom, no Dad, no Claire. We had turkey and pie and laughter. Real laughter. Uncle Tom toasted to Jenna for having the courage to stand up for herself. I cried. Happy tears. Christmas was quieter. Marcus's family invited me. His mom gave me a stocking with my name embroidered on it. "You're family now," she said. I'd lost the family I was born into, but I'd gained the family I deserved. Derek's consequences extended beyond prison. Hammond Corporate Solutions fired him the day he was arrested. His LinkedIn profile disappeared. Mutual friends ghosted him. His name became synonymous with that guy who went to prison for identity theft. Claire lost her job 3 months after her conviction. Background checks revealed the criminal record. She moved back in with Mom and Dad at 29. Divorced, unemployed, isolated. I heard through Aunt Patricia that Mom and Dad's social circle had shrunk. Their church friends knew the story. Dad's coworkers had seen the videos. The reputation they'd built for decades destroyed by their choice to defend criminals over their honest daughter. Grandma Rodriguez changed her will, left everything to me. "Your mother chose wrong," she told me over coffee. "I'm choosing right. I didn't do this for inheritance, but the validation mattered." It's been 4 years since that July 4th barbecue. I'm 28 now, sitting in my Silver Lake apartment, 1 bedroom with hardwood floors and a balcony overlooking the LA skyline. The crushed graduation cap hangs in a shadow box on my living room wall. Some people think it's morbid. I think it's proof. My financial recovery was specific and deliberate. Credit score climbed from 580 to 788. Excellent range. The fraudulent accounts were removed within 8 months. The damage Derek and Claire caused erased. Debt completely cleared. All $34,000 in student loans paid off using the restitution money and my own earnings. I made the final payment on my 27th birthday. Savings: $23,000 emergency fund. 6 months of expenses. The security I never had in college. Monthly income. Derek's garnishment: $450 every single month. For 11 more years. I donate half to a financial abuse victims fund. Keep the rest as a reminder that justice isn't just symbolic. Career success exceeded my expectations. I'm associate curator at the Getty Museum. $68,000 annual salary. I curate exhibitions, manage collections, teach workshops. Last year, I co-curated Resilience in Art, Stories of Survival, an exhibition featuring artists who'd overcome trauma. 47,000 visitors over 6 months. The museum director nominated me for the Getty Leadership Award. I didn't win. But the nomination alone validated every sacrifice I made in college. I also started speaking publicly. TED Talk titled The Art of Standing Up, When Family Becomes Your Abuser, reached 890,000 views. I've been invited to 3 universities to speak about financial abuse and family betrayal. Published an essay in Art in America magazine, The Art of Survival, How I Rebuilt After Family Betrayal. It went viral in academic circles. Derek had called my degree worthless. I'd built a career that proved him wrong. My relationships transformed completely. Marcus and I have been together for 3 years. He passed the California bar on his first attempt. Works in civil rights law now. We talk about moving in together, maybe next year. He was there that night. I called from my car after discovering the fraud. He organized evidence at 3 a.m. He stood between me and Derek when violence threatened. He saw me at my lowest and stayed. Aunt Patricia and I have Sunday dinner every week. She became the mother figure I needed. We cook together, talk about art and life and healing. She tells me constantly how proud she is. Grandma Rodriguez calls every Thursday. She's 81 now, sharp as ever. "Your mother still asks about you," she says. I tell her to mind her business. Cousin Maria and I are close. She's a documentary filmmaker now. Wants to make a film about my story someday. Maybe when more time has passed. My UCLA friends and I meet monthly. Coffee or dinner. We laugh about college struggles that aren't struggles anymore. I have a therapist I see twice monthly. Dr. Sarah Patel. She specializes in family trauma. 3 years of work helped me understand something crucial. I'm not responsible for their choices. I'm only responsible for mine. But some relationships stayed broken. By choice, Derek's in federal prison. Year 2 of 4. Minimum security facility in Central California. I've heard through Aunt Patricia that he tried to write me letters. I returned them unopened. He'll be released in 2 years. I have safety protocols in place. New phone number he doesn't have. Security system in my apartment. Friends who know his release date. The restraining order extends 3 years after his release. 8 years total from now. We will never speak again. Claire lives with mom and dad still. Works retail at Target. Divorced. Probation ended last year, but the criminal record is permanent. She sent a Facebook message 2 years ago. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Can we talk? I left it on read. Some people think I should forgive her. That family means giving second chances. I disagree. Forgiveness isn't mandatory, especially when someone hasn't earned it. Claire's sorry she got caught. Not sorry she stole from me for 18 months. There's a difference. Mom and Dad tried reaching out once. Thanksgiving 2 years ago. Dad called from an unknown number. Jenna. It's Dad. Your mother and I miss you. We'd like to talk. About what? About healing this family. The family you defended criminals over? The family you told me I destroyed when I pressed charges against the people who stole from me? Silence. Dad. You watched Derek assault me at graduation. You did nothing. You gave Claire $35,000 for a wedding, but wouldn't give me $400 for textbooks. You chose your side years before I pressed charges. You just didn't like the consequences. We made mistakes. You made choices. Own them. I hung up. 2 years later, they haven't tried again. Aunt Patricia says they've aged poorly. Guilt eats them. Their social circle shrunk. Dad retired early. His firm made it clear he wasn't welcome after the videos went viral. Mom's book club disbanded when half the members sided with me. They live quiet, isolated lives now. With the daughter they chose. I don't feel guilty about that. My emotional healing is ongoing. I have hard days. Moments when I see families at the museum laughing, supportive, present, and feel the ghost of what I didn't have. I have triggers. Someone touching my head unexpectedly, graduation ceremonies, the smell of barbecue sometimes. But I also have joy. Real, earned joy. I wake up in an apartment I love, go to a job that fulfills me, spend time with people who value me, date someone who sees my worth. The life Derek and Claire tried to steal from me, I built it anyway. Better than they could have imagined. Looking forward, not back. People ask if I regret pressing charges. If I wish I'd handled it privately. If I think the public exposure was too much. Never. They stole from me for 18 months. Derek assaulted me. They called me a failure while living off my identity. I didn't expose them for revenge. I exposed them for protection. For every person who might be in my situation suffering silently while family abuses them, I wanted them to see that standing up is possible. That justice is achievable. That you don't owe loyalty to people who harm you, even if you share DNA. The crushed graduation cap on my wall isn't a symbol of what they did to me. It's a symbol of what I survived. And what I became despite them. If you're living this story right now, if your family is stealing from you, belittling your achievements, or making you feel worthless, please hear this. Document everything. Tell someone safe. Press charges if needed. Your worth isn't determined by people who diminish you to elevate someone else. Family should be your foundation, not your destruction. And when they become the latter, you have every right to walk away. I'm Jenna Rodriguez. I graduated with honors from UCLA. I survived 18 months of identity theft by family members. I rebuilt my credit, my career, and my life. You can too. This is Achiever Betrayed, where we tell the stories of those who succeeded despite the people who tried to tear them down. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, sometimes the trash takes itself out. Sometimes you have to take it out yourself. Either way, you deserve better.